The fate of the Flashpoint timeline hangs in the balance, and its fate will be decided by not one but two generations of Batman. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop into the pages of Flashpoint Beyond. Issue number 6, the grand finale to this series, and find out what happens next together, shall we? Alrighty then, so this newest issue picks up more or less exactly where the last issue left off. After threatening his arrival all series long, Rip Hunter of the Time Masters finally makes landfall inside the Batcave, and oh boy is he ready to tear a strip out of Bruce Wayne for everything he's been doing. Unsurprisingly, trying to keep an unstable timeline like Flashpoint alive inside one of the Time Master's snow globes and using Dr. Manhattan's watch to try and stabilize it is actually really goddamn bad for the time stream. In fact, Hunter compares it to trying to keep a tornado inside a jam jar. It's not a matter of when it'll break, it's only a matter of when, and when it does break, it might bring the entire universe down with it. And why? Because Batman is so insecure and so maladjusted, he just cannot let go of the ghost of his father, either literally or figuratively. What is particularly funny is that in Batman's eternal monologue, we discover that Bruce really has no respect for Rip Hunter or the Time Masters, saying that they're all smug, stuck-up egomaniacs who walk through life thinking they're better than everyone just because they know more than everyone else in the room. Oh geez, Batman, who does that sound like? Now, while all this is going on, back in the snow globe, you'll recall that Thomas Wayne had finally managed to discover that it was his wife, Martha Wayne, this world's Joker, who just so happened to also be the Clockwork Killer. Martha had built a brand new time sphere with stolen information that just so happens to look like a snow globe. Hey, how about that? And she plans to use it to go back in time to that night in the alley to save young Bruce Wayne's life, and make sure that both she and Thomas end up dying the way they were always supposed to, so that the Flashpoint universe will end up not existing anymore. And honestly, once he actually knows what Martha is doing, Thomas kinda finds it hard to condemn her when you stop and consider that he's basically been preaching the same ideas since this whole story began. The Flashpoint universe doesn't matter, none of these people matter. Flashpoint was born of the misery of Barry Allen losing his mother to the Reverse Flash, and it's only created more misery the longer it's been around. Hell, even if Thomas and Martha don't try and change the past, the world as they know it may still end up getting destroyed anyway by all those rogue Kryptonians who are still coming to wipe everyone out. So what does ultimately end up stopping Thomas Wayne Batman from going ahead with his wife's crazy plan? Well, you're gonna love this. He basically finally ends up coming to the realization that everyone has been shouting in his general direction since the story began. And that is, hey, just because you don't like what the Flashpoint world has become because of what it's taken from you doesn't mean that there aren't thinking, feeling, caring individuals who do call this place home. And if Flashpoint does end up getting destroyed, they'll lose out on the only world that they've ever known. People like Dexter Dent. The kid actively doesn't want to not exist anymore, and because of that, he ends up asking Batman for help, which ends up cutting through his deep, dark exterior to something much more primal, human, and fatherly. After all, we said it last issue, but it bears repeating here. Thomas and Martha couldn't save their own son in the alley all those years ago, but right here, right now, they actually can save Dexter from his crazy mother, Two-Face. Yeah, I bet you didn't think we'd be going for a double redemption storyline, but hey, here we are. Thomas destroys the time sphere, and Martha ends up actually killing Two-Face. She does this in front of Dexter, by the way, and says, oh boy, that's probably going to be really traumatizing for you. You've literally watched every member of your family die before your eyes. Sorry about that, kid. Arkham ends up burning down all around them, and the three ultimately escape, only to see snow falling around them. Yes, it seems that Thomas Wayne, through his actions, have actually done the impossible, the very thing that Rip Hunter thought no one could ever do, and that is actually stabilize an unstable timeline. How did blowing up the time machine stabilize the timeline? I have no idea, just go with it. Lord knows Batman is going with it. In fact, Bruce takes all the time in the world to gloat at the Time Masters, saying, I told you so, I believed in my father, knew he could do it, and he totally did because I read his letter all those years ago, wherein he talks about how the best thing that ever happened in his life was meeting Barry, how that reignited him and made him want to live again. And well, that's essentially what meeting Dexter and having Martha return to him has done once more. Yes, that's right, there's a new Batman and Robin in the Flashpoint universe. But more importantly, Martha and Thomas have actually managed to create some sort of weird, twisted surrogate family to replace the one that they lost with Bruce. In fact, she's living in the cave right now and helping the two in the upcoming battle against those evil Kryptonians who are still on the way. Luckily, being a former supervillain, Martha Wayne the Joker knows where they can get some great kryptonite. Now that's where the main Thomas Wayne Flashpoint Batman stuff ends, but don't worry, there's like several post-credit sequences here to set up more Geoff Johns books on the way soon. You see, the Time Masters, including Bonnie Baxter, are royally pissed that Batman played them and embarrassed them as much as he did. So much to the point they say they're not going to warn him about the upcoming threat involving his mother's family. Ooh, the Canes, huh? Make of that what you will. They also threatening going back in time to mess with his origin again, maybe bring back Nocturna or a few other forgotten Golden Age villains. But before they can get the ball rolling on any of that, Rip is horrified to realize that whatever Batman did with Flashpoint had some very unexpected ripple effects. You see, the Time Masters had been working on a couple other projects, mainly keeping track of a bunch of Golden Age heroes who don't really exist anymore. Now it seems that they're coming back into being again, and this is going to end up really messing with the timeline as we know it. Want to know more about this? Be sure to pick up Geoff Johns' new Golden Age series coming soon. But wait, we're still not done yet. You see, as the comic ends, we're reintroduced to the character of Cleopatra Pack. You may remember her briefly from the pages of Doomsday Clock, essentially as she is the new female inheritor of the Ozymandias mantle, right down to having Bubastis as her pet. She goes by the code name Nostalgia, and it seems that she's running around looking for the mysterious Watchman. No, not Watchman, I'm saying Watchman. The book doesn't say it outright, but I can only assume Watchman is Clark Dryburgh, the multiversal son of Marionette and Mime that Dr. Manhattan gave his godlike powers to before leaving at the end of Doomsday Clock. And so that was Flashpoint Beyond issue number 6, everyone, and overall I thought it was a decent enough conclusion to a series that lost me and won me back and lost me again several times throughout its run. It was definitely an uphill battle trying to sympathize with Geoff Johns' interpretation of Thomas Wayne, a character who I thought really had outgrown the way he had written him a while ago. For what it's worth, though, he did ultimately come to the correct realization. It just took him forever to get there. I certainly wasn't expecting them to try and redeem the Joker Martha Wayne in any way, but I kinda like the weird, crazy, kooky status quo that's invented for them here. I also kinda can't help but shake the feeling that this whole Flashpoint Batman Beyond storyline really only existed so Geoff Johns could backdoor all the new stuff he's doing. He has 3 new books that are spinning out of the pages of this, some that actually seem pretty interesting and some that I'm definitely going to follow, but some that I'm sure people are already losing their minds over because of their connection to Watchmen. For what it's worth, it seems like everything that's going on here with Nostalgia and Watchman, while they are born out of the Watchmen universe, they don't seem to actually be touching that universe. At the end of the day, I think I'd feel comfortable giving this one a 7.5 out of 10. I thought it was decent enough, but it's certainly not going to be my favorite Batman book of the year when everything is said and done. I really feel like Thomas Wayne as a character was hitting his stride over in those Joshua Williamson Justice League Incarnate stories, so the idea that he's just got shunted away back here to his own little private timeline will never not quite feel like missed opportunity to me, but hey, it is what it is. And there's nothing to say that the Justice League Incarnate characters or even Bruce himself can't take a trip to the Flashpoint universe now that we know that it just exists in a little snow globe.
Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Jewel, and if you're seeing me right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, which I am very appreciative of. It really helps drive engagement and retention and all that other good YouTube stuff. So does liking and commenting. Wink wink. If you like my content too, you should check out my Patreon page. We just redid all the tiers, so there's a ton of great rewards. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month, and well, it would just really help me out. It's never expected, but always appreciated. So until next time everyone, I've been Cape Joel, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.